Hello, and welcome to the Mitel 6110 Prairie Fire ACD Reports tutorial. If you haven't already viewed the sister video entitled Mitel Contact Center Client Installation and Overview, it's recommended you do so, as there are some ACD terms and definitions included in that video which will be helpful to you when viewing and analyzing any reports that you may have run. So, let's get started. We're going to come on up and we're going to log into the Contact Center Management Enterprise Edition by inputting our username and password and clicking Submit. Now you can see our login was successful, and to keep this tutorial to a short, manageable length today, we're going to just deal with three areas here. We're going to talk about the reporter, we're going to talk about the report inbox, we're going to come over into this help area. But before we do, we have three little icons over to the right hand side. Here we can log out and log in as another user. Here we can completely log out and we can hide our header page. And again, we'll show that header page. We'll bring that back. So let's come on right over to the Help tab. We're going to start here. Now, this should look a little bit familiar to you if you've already viewed the Contact Center Client Installation and Overview video, because you've already come in and you've done a software download. But we'll review this real quick here. Here's that client component pack that you have utilized to install the Contact Center client on your employee machines. But in order to operate the Contact Center Manager, you must run NetFrame 3.5, and you must have Adobe installed on any of the machines that will be viewing any of the reports. So this is your download page, software, downloads, and installations. Here we have web help. We have a documentation page here for our printable manuals. We'll come up under the documentation, and of course you're going to want to most likely print this Contact Center Solutions user guide. Here is your reports and your call accounting guides down here. So three very helpful manuals. Let's come up, let's pop this user guide, because within this user guide there's an area that I'm going to bring your attention to. You can see it's a fairly large manual, 653 pages. But down here at the very bottom we have a glossary, and within this glossary it's entitled Contact Center Terms and Definitions. We're going to come into this glossary. We'll enlarge this just a little bit. Here are all of the terms that you'll need to be familiar with for your ACD and to view and have an idea of what you're looking at when you're actually looking at some of your reports. So we'll close that. So all of that is found underneath this Help tab. Here we have an About Mitel Applications. Let's come in here, take us to our licensing page. This is what we're currently licensed for here. Custom reports. If licensed, you can build and create your own specified reports instead of using the template reports that comes with the system. And here we have contact information. Let's take a little peek over at the right hand side here. Here's our software level right here with our serial number and this software site key. You may want to jot this site key down, because you can always contact Prairie Fire directly, and they have a wonderful technical support department. If maybe you have any questions on a specific report that you want to run, and from the hundreds of reports that are available to you, you're not quite sure which one you need to run, you can give them a quick little phone call here at this particular number, give them your site key, and as long as your software assurance plan is up to date, they will talk to you on the phone all day long. Maybe you're building a scrolling marquee or banner, and you need a little bit of a help to finish building that banner. The Prairie Fire folks will actually log in remotely and build that banner right along with you. So like I said, they are a great resource of information. So that is found underneath the Help About Mitel applications. So let's come over and look at this reporter. I'm going to hover over the reporter and we'll have a brief overview individually here, and then we'll delve into some of these reports. But this voice right here, voice provides information about a call or incoming ACD calls. Just think about any time that your customers pick up their phone and physically dial into you. This is where you'll find all the reports for any phone calls that your agents receive. The reports can be run on employees, agent groups, queues, queue groups, team extensions, and optional DNIS and forecasting reports. DNIS is Dialed Number Identification Service. It's an optional programming feature on toll-free lines that provides a number that the caller dials. When a caller dials a toll-free number, the system forwards the information to the agent, so the agent will know who called, who dialed, and what number they dialed, so they can answer with the appropriate greeting or script. Here we have email. If you're licensed for the Multimedia Contact Center, these reports may be useful if your company agents receive email or text requests directly from your customers. Here we have chats. If licensed for Multimedia Contact Center, your agent and your agents receive live chat requests. This is where you'll find any agent chat reports. Now, over just down below, we have fax. Optional Multimedia Contact Center licensing required to report on any inbound faxes. Here we have Intelligent Queue, an optional feature which allows your callers flexible alternatives to waiting in the queue, maybe to send them to the best qualified agent, and allowing voice and web callbacks. Here we have optional workforce scheduling. It's an application purchased separately. You can run employee staffing forecasting based upon queue load history. Here we have call accounting for any carrier reports. These reports may be used for call costing, such as viewing extension long distance report or usage reports. Traffic analysis. Optional application to obtain traffic reports on your telephone system usage, such as attendant usage, channel utilization, and trunk use. Multimedia, down below that. Of course, we just mentioned is an optional exchange server that sends the customer an acknowledgement email and also queues the customer email request to the longest idle agent. Multimedia also allows web chats between agents and your customers as well. Here we have Lifecycle Reports. Normally, Lifecycle Reports are not activated as it does burn a lot of memory in the SQL. But Lifecycle Reports provides information on all events related to a specific call. It's kind of a cradle to grave type report on a call. And here we have administrative. There's just one report underneath administrative. It consists of your employee or staffing profiles. It provides contact information on each employee. You, as the administrator, must keep this area up to date underneath your site configuration and employee. Here we have flexible reporting and optional application used to create those custom reports and scheduling of reports. Maybe you wish to schedule a specific report to be routed to a specific manager on a specific day. We'll take a little look at that here in a little bit. So most of your reports will be found underneath the voice. Here's your report inbox. I did jump in here just a little while ago and I ran just a couple, 2 or 3 little reports so we can take a look at them. So those will be found underneath today's reports because they were run today. So this will take me to my contact center management inbox, and I'm currently in my inbox. These are the reports that I ran just a little while ago. Here we have a employee performance by extension, and I reported on extension 7285. Brent, let's take a look, see how busy he was yesterday. We'll select View. So here's the title of the report on the device that we're reporting on, the date range. It was created today by me, and we can see that Brent actually received 10 calls yesterday. He made 14 calls. Two of those calls were conference calls. So this is an employee performance by extension report. I ran one here a little while ago called Agent Group Performance by Agent, and I picked on the tech line. The tech line is our line that anytime our techs are out in the field and they need to call in and talk to one of our ACD agents to maybe close a ticket or add information to a ticket, that's our tech line that the techs call into. So let's view this particular report and see what kind of traffic we had yesterday on the tech line. So it's entitled Agent Group Performance by Agent. So we have 4 agents that normally man or staff that tech line, and we can see that yesterday, the 15th, that Kirsty was actually quite busy. She handled 37 calls from our techs. She received 29 additional calls that did not come in through the tech line, and she made 49 outbound calls. She did have one call that was requeued though. Her total shift time, she worked about 8.5 hours yesterday. So you can see there's a lot of detailed information on an agent group performance by agent report. Here I ran a lifecycle report for our tech line. Let's take a little view of that, kind of a cradle to grave kind of thing. I opened this a couple minutes ago and I saw something a little bit interesting when I was viewing this particular point with one of our agents. Let's see if we can't find that one that actually I think this is it right here. It was called to Raylene yesterday morning. Came in, started at looks like 8:41. She received, somebody called into the queue and they dialed her extension directly, so it was transferred to her extension. It rang for her phone for 4 seconds, and then she ended the call, and she immediately received an ACD call, and she put that ACD caller on hold. She made an outbound call and then placed that caller on hold, and that caller hung up after 2 seconds of being on hold. So this is just kind of a cradle to grave on specific calls for specific ACD groups. In this case, we're looking specifically at the tech line. So those are 3 quick little reports that I ran. So let's run one here real quick. So we're going to come up under voice, and let's pick on let's see, let's do this. Let's run a administrative report. First of all, employee, this is just going to kind of be just an overview of a specific employee. Notice my drop down, there is only one report available, and you need to find an employee that you're going to run the report on. It's in numerical order. We're going to look for extension 7284, which happens to be me, and we will highlight and select submit. That'll take us back to our inbox, and that report is currently loading. So I can do a browser refresh up here, or I can click here and automatically refresh my screen every 10 seconds until that report builds and loads. I'll uncheck this, I'll manually refresh And now that report is completed, we'll take a quick little look at it. Now, I've purposely left out all of my personal information within this area, but you as the administrator can input all of the information you feel necessary, such as the date hired, the home address, and so on of the particular employee that you're running the report on, including emergency contacts. So let's close that. So that's how you're going to run a quick little report. Let's find let's find an agent report maybe. What we'll do, now you can see we're looking at agent reports, so there are a lot of reports available to you. So don't be shy about opening your manual here or coming up into this area here and searching for a particular report for an explanation of it. But let's maybe select agent group by agent by make busy or do not disturb. Remember then that when we talked about that console, or excuse me, the contact client, we had a brief little conversation about a make busy key versus a do not disturb key. Only your agents will have make busy keys. Make busy key temporarily, when depressed, temporarily suspends the agent from receiving ACD calls, versus a do not disturb key. A do not disturb key temporarily suspends an employee from receiving internal or external calls. So a make busy key will be placed only on agent phones. So we'll select agent group by agent, make busy and do not disturb. And let's pick on that tech line, of course. Now we do have a filter. We don't use any do not disturb reason codes here, but we do use make busy reason codes. Our advanced tab here, this is where we're going to distribute the report to. Email this report to, and currently we don't have any contact groups built, but I want to send that report not only to my reporter inbox, but I want to send that report to my external email address as well. So I'm going to check that box. I'm going to come to here, and if I wanted to send this report to somebody else's email address externally, I could put any address at abc.com to route that someplace. So let's delete that, and let's go ahead and submit that report. We'll be taken to our contact center inbox. That report will be pending. Of course, I can refresh. There it's ready to view. So agent group, agent by make busy, do not disturb. So that's how you will run your reports, how you will find those reports. Here we have an inbox manager. Notice I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reports in my inbox. Maybe I've got 200 or 300 reports in this box, and I don't want to individually check and delete each message individually. I can do a batch delete by coming to inbox, inbox manager, and it says inbox manager. There's that report that I just emailed to myself. Inbox manager deletes all reports from your inbox created in the date range that you specified. So here's how I batch delete right here, and I would select delete, and then my inbox manager would be empty at this point. So let's do this. Let's go through how to schedule a specific report. Before we do, you notice I've been hovering and flowing to each one of these areas. You can single left click to take you to a different view. Some people find this view a little bit easier than simply hovering and routing themselves. It's really the same thing, just two different avenues to get to the same place. So let's come back up to this schedule reports, and let's start from the very beginning. We need to create a new schedule. So it says create a new schedule and assign the reports to schedule. So I'm going to click next. I need to give it a schedule name. We'll call it Friday Reports. And I want the schedule to run, say, on every Monday. And I don't want it to include that Monday, so the previous, I don't know, 5 days, something like that, 7 days. And I want that report to run at a specific time, maybe 3 in the morning. So there's my schedule. Now, who am I going to send it to? I'm going to email a report to. I find the contact I want to send it to, or if it's going to be external, this email address. But let's just go ahead and send it to myself. And let's just go ahead and save this at this point. Now, notice I have a new tab right down here since I saved it. It says add a report. So now I'm going to come down to my add a report, and I can add any report that I wish to add in that scheduled reports. Queue abandoned spectrum by day of the week. Maybe I want to see if we have any calls that were hitting our tech line and hanging up before they got to speak to a particular agent. And maybe I want to run this report for the entire month, and so on. So I would just submit, and then that's how easily you can schedule a report to automatically run for you. So that was just a brief overview on the Contact Center Management Enterprise Edition, how to run reports, how to access your reports, and how to find any help that you may need. So thank you for joining today, and enjoy using your Mitel Contact Center Management.